Shelby and Ollie. And you've done a previous board and train.
Yes.
And then trainer ghosted you.
Yes.
Essentially. It sucks. It happens more often than you think.
Yeah, I wish I would have known. I wish I would have read. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. It sucks. I hate to stand talk her because, you know, I felt like she did a great job, but then I needed that follow up and.
Oh, for sure.
So
Okay.
Relax.
It's funny because I come across this, and then it makes people skeptical of me because they haven't got a bird.
Yeah. No, I did my research this time.
Yeah.
So I have good feelings about those.
I always encourage people leave reviews because other people don't know,
Yes.
and it's funny because they're like, "Oh, but I feel bad." I'm like, "They stole money from you."
Yeah.
So,
no, I did. I already left the review.
Good for you.
I waited about 5 months before I did.
You gave him plenty of opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and fill me in on Ollie here.
Okay, so he whines like this. He gets very shakes. It's very situational with him. It's always if this then this. I feel like there's never a clear cut trigger with him.
Sure.
Leash reactive, definitely. Sometimes I can take him to the dog park, but now I'm hesitant. He's bitten a couple people. He's bitten one dog. That was before his training.
Okay.
No, not at the dog park.
Okay.
It actually was our front door was open and he saw a dog out there and darted out. That was before he did all the training and whatnot.
Okay.
He's bitten one person post training, and that was the worst bite.
Okay.
And someone he's met one time before. It was my cousin's fiance.
Okay.
Again, situational. The front door open. My sister walked in. He told her no, but I think he just triggered him and he bit her. She's actually a vet tug, so she gets pretty good tug. So first of all, people should be really cool about it, but he did break skin, and that was the worst one.
Okay.
So then that's when I reached back out to his trainer and then had a confirmed person.
Okay.
As far as walks go, he's okay with people. I usually give some space, and then he's alright. I don't chance it going directly past people, but other dogs I have to go in the street or the street always.
Gotcha.
My dad's dog, they're best friends. So he loves my mom's dog. He gets dogs he knows, people he knows, he's really fine with, but any strange anyone is so.
How long have you had him for?
Maybe 3 years in September.
And how old was he when you got him?
12 weeks.
12 weeks. And then when did the behavior start?
About 7 months.
Yeah. Does this sound familiar?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else about Ollie I should know about?
That I can think about for that.
Okay. Definitely a nervous, anxious dog. He's stressed, his tail's constantly wagging, he's not happy, that's agitation. And he's just kind of on guard
always,
a bit.
Yeah, high alert, always.
So, I'm going to explain everything and how it makes sense.
Okay.
When you said 7 months, right, and Michael, sound familiar, is when we deal, especially with bully type breeds, can you put that mix?
He's a Catalua Hound pit mix.
Okay. Is when bully type or bully mixes, typically around 6 months or a year, there's shifts. Okay. And this with every dog.
Yeah.
Okay. But typically when anybody has a pitty or a bull terrier or a Rottie, and they start to notice reactivity or human aggression and stuff, if it wasn't immediate at 2 months, because that's complete genetics, then it's at 6 months or a year.
Okay.
Right. So not out the ordinary in my experience with that stuff.
Sure.
Okay. And then typically what happens is, let's say the dog becomes human aggressive. Anybody it met before it became human aggressive is in the trust bubble.
Right.
And anybody after that is kind of always suspicious, right? And dogs as well. Anything they met before that shift is you're cool, everybody else is not cool. Okay. So that's pretty typical.
Okay.
Going back to the front door incident.
Yeah.
Right. Then that's where.
It's 81 that happened. Actually, no, probably before. Yeah, that's right.
And this is where he was a dog passing by the front house.
I wasn't home. At the time, I had 2 roommates. They were home.
Okay.
The door was open. He saw a dog out there, in the front area on the other side of the sidewalk, and just darted out. He put his mouth on the dog. He didn't actually bite it, but the dog was wet, and it was for the owner didn't press charges or anything like that. But it was different.
So do you know where that comes from?
What?
That behavior.
No.
Territory.
Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Technically normal. Okay. So there's dog normal, then there's human normal. He's in a very black and white world, and we're going to see if you can just set aside the anxiety. he's in a very black and white world. So like, you know, for wolves, if there's a stray wolf in another pack of wolves territory, they just kill that wolf, right? And it's very black and white. And for us, like, you know, you have your neighbor might have a dog, and like you might pick him over the fence, and like there's like gray area in the boundaries. For some dogs, not so, right? Some dogs are fine, like completely friendly always, never non-threatening. And they'll bark and they'll say like there's something going on. It's like, oh, it's a dog. I love dogs. Like, you switch, right? Some dogs no, right? So in his world, technically that was a valid bite. In the human world, the way human law works, not so much. Okay, so I get that, right? That's its own thing. The human ones, the human bites, because there was that one dog one.
Yeah, there was that one, and my sister's friend.
Okay, and was this on entry into the home? Both
so
times?
The sister one, we were at my mom's house in Nashville. She has like a really big porch, so my sister's friend was on the porch. Ollie, we had like a baby gate up, and then like Ollie was on the other side of the baby gate, and he first licked her hand and then bit her. It was like the weirdest thing.
Sure. And was it like a snap bite or was it like a?
Yeah, it was like a little snap. I mean, he didn't break skin, but it was definitely like an instant bruise, kind of like little one, like that. It was like that.
Sure.
And it was like right on her like that.
Was this with him behind the fence? And was she coming over like this?
Yes.
And was she talking high-pitched manner?
Not that I recall.
Okay.
I waited so usually, like whenever I introduce him to people, he has like 3 stages, right? He has like the crazy psycho barking stage, then he has his whole whine stage, and then once he calms himself down from that, then I let him like go introduce to somebody. And that's just how I've been able to do it at this point. But I felt like he was calm, and then I don't know what happened. But then like 10 minutes later, he's like playing after lap, totally fine player. So he always ends up liking the people, but it's like that initial introduction, or even other dogs too. So it's that figuring out how to do the introduction period to get him to be okay.
Okay. So in that context, what it sounds like is that little fence creates territorial. Okay. And leading over, you're kind of breaking that boundary, and at first it may have been fine, but then the brain, because I've had this happen before, where like the owner will say like, yeah, my sister came in and pet the dog, the dog's met several times, and all of a sudden that's not happening. And that's why I asked about the high pitch stuff. Because typically it's a lot of this and a lot of baby talk. And if it's a nervous dog, like in the beginning, the brain likes it, but then nervousness kicks in and it goes, wait, I don't like this, and then the snap happens. Okay, so stimulation can lead into aggression or other behaviors. Okay, so it goes from seemingly happy to seemingly aggressive. But it's overstimulation, the brain's not thinking clearly, issues kick in, and then it's like, oh crap. Now, like, oh, I don't like this, get away. And then once the complete passiveness is when you get but then he's letting on her side, right? So that's why it looks kind of like two-faced. But when you understand the brain more, it like that is not the ordinary, out the ordinary. I've seen it happen plenty of times. Okay. And then the other one was a sister coming in with husband, boyfriend?
Oh no, it was my cousin coming in with his fiance.
Fiance, okay. And he had met
He's met both of them before.
But one was the second time he's met, correct?
It was, second or third time he had met her.
Okay.
But they're always like huge, like the holidays. It was like a huge gap in between.
For sure.
It was the Christmas. I took him over to. It was this past Christmas. I took him over to my grandma's house. He had met most. I mean, he had met everyone there at one point, but it was actually I didn't realize one of my cousins was there that he hadn't met before. Walked in the house and I already had him off leash. And he was warned me that he was there, and Ollie just went right up to him. But it's because he was already in the house when he got there. But as soon as somebody comes, like a stranger comes in, once he's already there, then he doesn't matter whose house it is, he still gets like all worked up about it.
Yeah, and that's normal. Okay, so that's again territorial behavior.
Yeah.
So like when let's say you're at your friend's house and you're early and you're expecting 3 more people.
Right.
Like you already know that.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, we're expecting John, Sarah, Jessica. Like, oh okay. So when they come knocking, you're not like, who's that? You're like, it's probably one of those 3 people.
Right.
All of them. Right? So what happens with the knock is that it triggers territorial behavior. Which, like again, with every dog, is normally they start barking. But then for most dogs that are like sociable, they see the person, they go, oh, I love people. Right? So the knock is kind of like, well, who's that?
Right.
So they become suspicious, but once they recognize it's a human and they're sociable with humans, they don't care anymore. Right? With Ollie, he does. Okay? So what can happen is territorial behavior kicks in, normal, but then because he's an anxious, nervous dog, they get intertwined. Okay, so it's similar to the overstimulation one, where at first he's liking it, and all of a sudden he's like, wait, I don't like this, right?
Yeah.
With the territorial one, right off the bat, it's starting off with tension, because he's already suspicious, right?
Yeah.
Like, who's here? Who's going to take care of this?
Yeah.
And as an anxious, nervous dog, he's more insecure, so he's really leaning that direction.
Yeah.
And that's why when the people come in, you have to wait for the de-escalation, okay? The issue is he's de-escalating on his terms, so he can always re-escalate, okay? We want to de-escalate him on our terms, okay? And we want to, right off the bat, before you even open that door, he's already in a passive state, okay? Because technically, like you've learned, if I just keep him back, and this is just kind of assuming, right? Keep him back, he's going to be barky for a bit, then he's going to calm down, he's going to be whiny, and then he's going to be passive. And I know at that state I can introduce him. Is when the person comes in and all that stuff is happening, what we get is like residual anxiety or suspicion that if not actually addressed, then leads to a future bite within that context. Okay? Question?
Like, is there a way, I don't know, how do you fix that?
Right. So that's where communication comes into play. So we have obedience and then we have behavior. Okay. Think of obedience as education, math, English, science since they come. Think of behavior as morality. Don't jump, don't bark, don't bite. Don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat. Okay. Very different things. A very smart person doesn't make for a good person. And a good person can maybe not be the smartest person. You see that? Same thing for the dog. So I can have a dog that knows hundreds of tricks, super smart, very intelligent, but is a jackass. Okay? Because that's different. Okay? So when it comes to the door contact, what he's needing is when the knock happens, is you can communicate with them like, hey, I know someone's here, thanks for letting me know, but you need to cut out the crap and just settle down. Okay, this is not sit, this is not down, this is not stay, this is not come, this is not heel, none of that stuff. This is body language and communication. Okay? Then the obedience aspect comes into play more so because of the discipline behind it. Okay? And I'll kind of explain how that works. So they're very different things. So most trainers will tell you when a person comes over, put Ollie in place. Or tell Ollie to lay down, right? If Ollie's in this command, he cannot attack the guest, right? Or bark at the guest, whatever. But depending on the tool you use, let's say you do that and the guest comes in, either one, he'll just throw a fit on the place mat, right? Because he's like, all right, sure, I'll be here, but I'm still gonna disagree with this, right? Or if he really is intent on going to the person, he's like, screw your command, I'm gonna go bite this person, right? For stuff. Here we are, actually. So here. This is a great place to practice because there's so much going on.
I know.
But we also have to be on our guard here.
High alert too.
So, so the dog will still do it, right? Or like, let's say he's on place and then you release him, but no one's told him like to relax. The brain's going to go right back to that, right? So behavior and obedience are very different, but they do go hand in hand. Okay, and I have, if you want to kind of learn more about that, if you go to my YouTube channel, I have a video with a dog named Mia, M-I-A. So if you search Mia, it's like the third or fourth lesson, and I do the exercise that actually displays what I'm talking about here, and that would better kind of give you an understanding. Okay, with the stuff that we're dealing with here, with like the reactivity and the seemingly like kind of maybe sporadic or like unpredictableness. Is this. Okay, that's where it's coming from. So I'm sure you said before you reached out you did your research, right? I use e-collar. Okay? I love Prong collar. We incorporate it, we use it. This dog's on a Prong and e-collar. But I never use it by itself, hardly ever, unless unless I feel like it's a super easy case. Okay? And the reason is, especially for this, no matter how hard you give a correction, you won't, if Ollie's anxiety is at 20, and you give your harshest 10, 10 is never 20. So you're stuck. Okay? And that's why I know for most trainers, they go like food, choke to prong e-collar, and they kind of look at the e-collar as taboo, and it's like, ooh, I think your dog needs it.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I do,
Yeah.
right off the bat,
Yeah.
because it's easy, it's effective. I can disagree with stuff like this. I can off-leash control, right? It allows me to be neutral. So even if a dog's attacking me and I have my suit and I'm correcting it, the dog doesn't know where it's coming from. Okay. So e-collar for sure, right? For this stuff here, this anxiety, okay? The theory is, so the first thing I start with every dog for the most part is heel, okay? Heel my style, which is if I take one step, the dog takes one step. If I stop, if I take 5 steps, the dog takes 5 steps. When I stop, the dog automatically sits. I don't care what the setting looks like, and this isn't even full-blown odds, okay? This is like a quarter of how busy this can be, right?
Yeah.
But I don't care if the environment is 4 times as busy as this. It's boom here. Okay. When you have that level of discipline and control, then I go, what does it fix?
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't so much care about the heel. I care about the discipline behind it. Okay. And it's very easy to teach. It sounds like complicated. It sounds like weeks of work of like, oh, to get this attention.
Yeah.
E-collar makes it very simple. Okay. When it works like the way it's supposed to, I do get cases that aren't as straightforward. And it's not the e-collar, it's the dog's behavior. It's very different. But still much easier than using just solely a bone, okay, or trees by itself. So that'd be the first thing I tackle. That would be our foundation for the reactivity stuff, okay? I will give you exercises to do. So like let's say you see a dog and you're like, I think Ollie's gonna be reactive here. How to approach the situation to give you the most control, to let it happen, and then once you're ready, you can keep going, okay? Until ideally, you're able to just walk past dogs, okay? Now there's no right or wrong answer in that book. Every client progresses their own way. Every client has their own threshold in terms of comfort. All I care about is that you have a tool set where you feel like, yeah, I'm confident, I'm comfortable, and I do more stuff with my dog because of that, right?
Yeah.
The next thing would be, so like let's say week 1, we teach the heel stuff. We're gonna have to teach it from scratch, okay? You're most likely gonna progress faster because you already have a baseline, okay? So I don't like really cap things. I keep teaching as long as you're not like overwhelmed by it. And if you made tons of progress, we just start from there, okay? So what we do week 1, you come back week 2. How'd it go? Gesty was great. Reactivity was even less than what it's usually been, but I still had this happen. And I go, okay, we're gonna make a couple of tweaks here, change a few things to the e-collar. Here's lesson 2. Come back class 3. How'd it go? Jesse even better, but I'm still struggling with this one part. I go, okay, this didn't work, so now we're gonna try this approach. Okay? And then we just keep building on stuff. Okay? When it comes to this kind of behavior, the human aggression stuff that you've seen is territorial. That's a different aspect. Okay? Now, if you told me, you know, if you went to the dog park and he was seeking people and biting people, anytime he pet them, that'd be completely different. The reason why he's in that setting, not having issues, presumably, is community setting. Okay, it's like if you were to go to a bar and you complain that it's too loud, like it's a bar. It's going to be loud.
I work at a bar and I get that all the time. So.
Yeah, for sure, right? It's like if you don't want to be in a loud place, don't go to a bar. Okay, same thing for the dog, right? So if he's in a community setting, you're not going to see territorial behavior typically. Okay, now you might see it if he's here with you, like this, and a dog were to come into your space, but that's different because he's being territorial over your immediate space, right?
He is worse. I forgot to mention this. He is worse with me than like let's say like I had a living boyfriend for a little while, like with him or with my sister or whatever. Like he is always worse with me. So that's another portion to add.
So you know the male-female thing. Like dogs don't really see species, right? They just see sex. I know you're being proactive with trying to get this addressed, hence board train and stuff. But you don't have the right tool set, okay? And I don't like doing boarding trains for stuff like this.
Now looking back, I wish I would have been more involved in it because I felt like he listened to her when come with me.
Plus, he's out of his element, right? Like that's why, like when I get like I just had a client who we worked with their dog before, is having issues with the fence, and they said, "Can we send him for 2 weeks free for a boarding trip?" And that's like $1,500. And I told him no. I was like, because it's gonna be great here, and he's gonna have the same problem at your place, and that's what the problem is, right? So I don't care about the money. I care about people getting the answer that they're wanting. And that's not how everybody thinks, okay? So, like, even if you came to me and you're like, Jesse, I'd like to do a boarding train, I'd tell you, I really suggest you do the one-on-one, okay? Because this is all about educating you. we know this stuff. We work with this stuff on a day-to-day basis, which is why I always promote one-on-one training. You learn a ton more. It just takes a little longer. Okay, so we have to do a balance of high-level control, and then the context where he's become aggressive. That's really just more of like understanding how to address the situation more easily. The only drawback is currently because of COVID. This is why we're here. Is we're not doing home to home. It's not permanent. It's just in the meantime. Okay. So what I would do is give you the best answers that I can.
Okay.
You can always save a class or two, and then once we start to go back to revisiting people, you can say, "Hey, I would like to schedule those classes." And go, absolutely. Here we go. Okay. But I would give you answers in the meantime, and this is partially why we've also been recording everything. Is now everything's verbal instruction. Okay. The con is it's going to be a little frustrating for you. You have to figure everything out, but I'm coaching you through it.
Okay.
The pro is beginning to end. It's all related to you. Nothing's related to us, right? So we don't have to worry about that transference or anything like that.
Okay.
You learn a ton more. Previously, I would work with the dog, and then you would see stuff, and then you would kind of go like, oh, that's what Jesse's doing. I'd give them back to you. 70% right off the bat is done. Then I coach you through it.
Okay.
The con to that was I was working through a lot of nuances that I know them. I'm like, it's not really worth telling the owner about because it's just too complicated, right? But then later on, when they came across those nuances, they were having problems, right? So here, I'm working you through everything. You learn a ton more, okay? Question so far. In terms of control, how much control are you needing or wanting from Ollie? Is it, your life is, I walk with Ollie, I don't want him to be reactive. We go to the dog park, which is good at the dog park for the most part. I call him, and then we walk home, right? Then we do that, plus I'd like to take him to like a restaurant patio.
Yeah.
And then I go hiking off lead, like I'd like to go like to Starved Rock and have him hiking and we're camping.
Yeah, I mean, if we could do all three, that would be great. I'd love to get to that point. I just don't know if that's realistic.
Okay, so when we do e-collar, our threshold is very high, okay? And everybody's progress bars is a bit different. So like, I'll give you like kind of like a worst case scenario that I had before.
Okay.
I had a very reactive large pitty, 80, 90 pounds.
Okay.
Jumped into 12 weeks with me. Did everything that I told him to. This was a very difficult case, okay? The dog would not retain the corrections. What that means is, he'd see a dog, the owner could stop it, it'd be a harsh correction, we did everything from low to middle to high, we did everything. It wouldn't stick. So then 5 seconds later, we'd see another dog and possibly another reactive moment. Okay? But he was able to stop it. His dog was fully off his train. So he could take him and he used to go out to the park when it was nice and empty and run him and stuff, play ball with him and everything like that. And whenever he would see a dog from afar, he'd call his dog, leash him up, let it pass, check, and then off leash again, right? So his dog was off leash trained. He had everything. He'd wheel him off leash, stay off leash, down, all that stuff, recall, all that stuff. But he knew his dog had reactivity issues that he just couldn't completely squash, right? So he asked me, he's like, is that okay that I do that, Jesse? And I said, sure. Because
Sit.
Yep.
Sit.
I'm going to have you literally stand, and then pull in a little bit, like this, give in. Now, pull firmly up. Give a little bit more slack, a little bit more slack, and right there, again. Yeah. So you see how he's like not really phased?
Yeah.
It's
I know, he doesn't give a fuck.
His stress levels are too high.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about
He's
that.
like that all the time, though. Like he used to, like initially, he, you could tell that he felt it. I feel like now he doesn't face that.
Because his stress levels are too high. Okay, e-collar allows us to break through that stuff. As long as the owner does what I tell him to do and is willing to go to the extent needed, we can cut through it. Okay, so in this case, his dog was fully trained, obedience-wise.
Yeah.
It was just that reactivity.
Okay.
And he came a long way with his dog. Like, you could introduce him to dogs and stuff. It was just the reactivity part of it, right?
Yeah.
And he wasn't a dog park dog by any means, ever.
Yeah.
But he was like able to make a friend or two over time because of everything that we built. Okay. So, but I get other dogs that are reactive that were able to just 180 and then they're completely great. I can't guarantee stuff.
Oh, of course.
You're variable. The dog's a variable. Life's a variable, right? So that's just being realistic.
Yeah.
But always shoot. Obedience is the easy part.
Yeah.
It's mechanical. It's come when I call you, put your butt down when I say so. When I say heel, you're on my hip, all that crap. It's mechanical. It's this. that's variable. This is a part of it. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, in terms of like length of time and stuff, if you want the full control, that's 12 classes.
Okay.
This is our variable. Okay. This is our priority. I always prioritize behavior or the answers I know you're going to need to either keep them under control or to address the behavior. You definitely want to do the field exercise to see what does it settle down on this, what does it settle down with the reactivity. Okay. If all that goes smoothly, then we start to work into recall, then the stay, then the sit, then the down. And down for me is down. You don't move 3 hours, 4 hours, like you don't move, period. Okay. That level of control. And I know it sounds crazy, but e-collar does make it very simple, but you do have to do the homework, okay? So like let's say we do the 2 classes and maybe the behavior isn't going as smoothly. We have to focus on reactivity for a class. It's really simple when it comes to behavior, okay? So I was raised old school, I was spanked. So if I didn't do my homework, if I talked back to my mom, or if I didn't do my chores, spank, spank, spank. One consequence for a multitude of reasons, right? So if he did something that another dog didn't like, that dog would bite him, right? When people do something he doesn't like, he bites them. He's using physicality to lessen, okay? So if we do the foundation, the leash walking stuff to see what does it fix, and we see reactivity is still a problem, then I go, okay, now we just need to bite him for the behavior itself to say it's not allowed, okay? So I don't just come in and say, blast the dog for being reactive. There's a science to it, right? Because you also have to develop your skills. You have to develop your fluency with the e-collar, how it works.
Yeah, I've never used it.
So and it's very straightforward. It's very intuitive.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I play everything by ear. It's not cookie cutter. Other than I know at least the first class is going to be leash walking. Okay. You're boss lady. So after the first class, if we come in and you really want to tackle something, I go, okay, that's fine. We'll shift gears. We'll address that. And then as long as that's going fine and you're happy, we'll then move to the next thing. Okay? And sometimes for people, it's smooth for like 8 weeks, 9 weeks, and then all of a sudden it's a shit show for 1 week. It's fine. Then they come back, and then we have to shift gears. We focus on why was it a shit show for 8 weeks. Okay? So at the end of the 12 weeks, we may not get everything if we're struggling with certain behavioral needs. At the end of the 12 weeks, I'll tell you, how do you feel? And you're like, you know what, Jesse, I feel really good. I love what I have. I'm happy. I don't need any more. And I say, great, thank you for the opportunity. Let us know if you ever need anything. If it's like, no, I want to make sure I get everything, and I'm like, okay, it's just 2 more classes. You say, great, I'll sign up with Maria. She'll register for 2 more classes, and then we'll finish those up. Okay. Questions about that? How much does this guy weigh? 6'5". 6'5". All right. In terms of e-collar, you technically have 2 options. One is for 70 pounds and under.
I feel like
One
this
is
is
for
all the
70
time
pounds.
for me. I'm like, oh shit, what do I do?
Yeah, and over. Okay. I suggest that you go for the higher powered collar. Not just because of the size, because of this. Okay. And because there's a bit of pity in there, and I see more pity than I see hound.
I actually DNA tested on it was like 25, 25, 25, and it was like 25, 60.
I definitely, in the jowls and the face and stuff, I see pity. I definitely see lab. I can definitely see hound. So I don't think it's completely wrong. 10 years ago, they were pretty bad. Okay. Now they're much better. So I highly suggest you get the higher powered one. Just because of the emotional state. Because there's physical and there's emotional, right? So you want to be able to cut through this anxiety, and that's what we need the power for, right? And I don't know how sensitive he's going to be. I get some dogs that are super stubborn on the prong, but super sensitive on the e-collar.
So it's like, is it like a beep shock?
So have you ever been to a physical therapist or a chiropractor?
Yeah, but it's been a while.
Did you have that muscle stim thing?
No.
So if you go to one of those places, they put this machine on your muscles or your back, and it moves your muscles to help ease pain or relax them. Okay. So like if you go to Walgreens and you go in the back section, you'll see what's called a tendon, T-E-N-S. It looks like a little bone. You put it here, and it moves your back muscles. Okay. There's even like the ab commercials now where you put things on your stomach, and it's like workout when you watch TV, right? Is that it's the same technology. It's not electricity like a taser or like sticking your finger in an outlet. It's electric, but not electrical. So there's a slight current that is only focused where there's contact, and it moves solely that muscle, so you don't feel anything anywhere else. Okay. Same thing for the dog. Okay. Now the reason why it's effective is because I can attune it to the dog. So he can be super, super sensitive, which means we're super low. He can be super stubborn, which means we're much higher, right? But what I love about it is it allows me to be able to address the dog, and the dog thinks it made the decision. Okay, that it's the only tool, in my opinion, that can make a dog because there's no tie to you, and the dog just thinks this starts happening. I don't like it, but when I do this, it stops. Oh, so if I don't do this, I can avoid that. Okay, that makes life easier. Okay, it allows us to communicate with the press of a button, which is more kind of human nature now because everything's at a button, and we can how would you say, get off leash control. It's the only tool that gives you off leash control. Like, I get dogs that can be great on prong, but as soon as the person removes it, dog's off leash, the dog knows.
I did that the other day. I was like late at night, I was just going out to go pee, and I was like, nope.
Decided
again.
Correct.
Yeah.
E-collar helps prevent that problem. Okay? So it's full control. And it's the exercises are very simple. It doesn't take a lot of technical skill. Okay? It doesn't take physical skill. So I had a young lady, she was 90 pounds, with 140, 150 pound Great Dane, right? And he was dog reactive. So she needed to use both a prong and an e-collar to give her the most control. You know, we of course stopped the reactivity, but I told her if you turn the corner, there's a dog there. You want to have the ability to kick in with control, and you're only like half the size of the dog, okay? And the dog is great. So in the beginning, I do solely e-collar because I want to see how much does it get done by itself. I have no problem using these together because you want to think again, like let's say you turn a corner, there's something there, and he blows up. The prong is your immediate response. The e-collar is the mental de-escalate completely. Okay, does that all make sense? What was the next one we talked about? Oh, one of the most common questions I get is when does the e-collar go away? In my book, it doesn't when you need it. Okay, if he's a great dog in the house, you don't need it. You don't need it. If he's a great dog, if at the dog park you decide you don't want it there and you don't need it there, you don't need it, right? But for me, when you're walking with him, you know, get the reactivity stuff. If he's going to be off leash, I want to make sure I can call him back. That it's on him. Now, it doesn't mean you're always using it. Once he's trained, you know, it should be a sharp decline. But if he decides to be a jerk, I can stop it. Or if he decides not to return when I call him, I can make him return. Okay. It's nothing good or bad. It has nothing to do with my skill as a trainer. It's nothing to do with the homework that you did and stuff. Dogs are opportunistic. Okay. Humans are as well. The most common kind of analogy I give is you drive the expressway. You go the speed limit. No, right? Like almost nobody does. Okay. I've had like 15 consultations. Only one person has told me yes.
Yeah, they're probably lying. So.
Yes. Okay. So. Why? Because there's no chance of us getting a ticket. There's no cop, right? But when we see that squad car, everybody all of a sudden starts going the speed limit, right? Same thing for the dog. So I like to think of the collar as a cop on the collar. When it's present, he's going to learn, mom's got control, I'm going to be much better behaved. When he doesn't have it on, he's like, oh, it's boundary, right? Now, in the house, I don't care, like, you know, if I call my dogs in the home, they're slow, but I'm like, I'm inside out here. But when I'm here, they're quick, they're fast, they're speeding, right? So I'm like, as long as the performance is great here, I could really care less about the house because, you know, behaviorally they don't need anything, obedience-wise, like whatever, right? But for you, if you decided, no, Jesse, like I need him to be this, like well-behaved, even with like my roommates and stuff, you can always push for that, okay? It's just in most cases, it's typically not applicable, but everybody's home is different, okay? So that's all normal stuff. Any questions of your own so far?
No, but I have a couple other like little comments that I forgot that I remembered on. So one, I have moved him around a lot. It's just unfortunate. He's working like 5 days. So that's one thing to consider. Our apartment now, we have a huge shared backyard. There's tons of dogs. That's one of the push to want to get this done right now is like, because I want to be friends with all the neighbors and like hang out outside. Two, I did train him on like the invisible fence.
Oh, sure.
I forgot that I did this. My dad had the invisible fence and he was so quick to learn it. So I do feel like the e-collar is good for that.
So moving around, definitely have an anxious, nervous dog, not the greatest, but it is what it is, right? What's going to be nice is once you have the e-collar, that level of structuring discipline, transitioning is much easier. Okay? Because you're being proactive, but unfortunately the tool doesn't allow you to break through that state of mood. Okay? And you can always email me if you're going to move again, and I can give you
I just
insight.
signed this lease, so please don't say that.
In 2 years, 3 years.
I'm hoping at least 2.
Because I had with a client of mine, we trained their dog a year ago, and then like, hey, Jesse, we'll do summer thing. I'm like, yeah, sure. And I kind of a little thing, and I sent it to him just to help acclimate a bit better. But definitely the e-collar discipline makes things much easier. Okay. When it came to the dogs, being social. Okay? So he is a social dog. But
Well, he hasn't met them yet.
He hasn't met them.
No, I haven't let him meet them because I'm nervous.
Okay.
They're all so freaking nice, and I'm like, great, I have like the asshole dog.
Okay.
But he is,
dogs.
yes.
Social.
Yeah, once he knows them, he's fine. It's just like I never can figure out how to introduce him.
Okay. I have a video again on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
And you feel free to email with these like, hey, what were those videos again? Because I know it's a lot. His dog's name is Finn.
Finn.
Yeah. Okay. F-I-N-N. Correct. It's a little dude. Okay. And we did it here, and we can this can be a class as well.
Okay.
But you can see how I go about it. It's very structured, and I take the dogs for a walk to build a relationship as opposed to nose type stuff, because that's not natural dog. Okay. So that'll give you an idea. You're more than welcome to try it on your own. But you're also more than welcome to say like, Jesse, could you help me introduce Ollie to a friend dog? I was like, sure, bring him here. I'm going to show you the process. Okay. I think in your case, you're more likely going to end in success. In Finn's case, he didn't, but he was able to be snipped and stuff. But we didn't get him to the point of intermingling and stuff like that. But
he is a rough player too.
Okay, and e-collar lets you tone that down.
Okay.
So if you start to do something you disagree with, mounting, maybe get a little too rough and stuff, you can taper it down with the e-collar because you have the off-leash control.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
You're gonna be so good.
any other questions? Any other concerns? So in terms of cost and length of time, and what you can expect to get, okay, 6 weeks would be like the bare minimum. Okay.
Sure.
If you did 6 weeks, what I prioritize is what you're wanting, and I know it's like behavioral stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely 2 weeks on the leash walking stuff.
Okay.
3rd week, most likely, I think you're struggling with any kind of reactivity. 4th week, hey, I want to introduce him to my friend's dog. Can you show him how to do that? Sure. And then last 2 classes, I'd recommend we cover recall, because every dog needs to have recall. But then if you decide something more important, again, your boss lady, let us know. Okay. 9 weeks, I would expect to get that stuff. You get the leash walking, the socialization, the recall, reactivity stuff, and most likely stationary. Okay, lay down, don't move for a period of time.
Sure.
12 week, the goal is everything off leash reliable. Walking on heel, recall, sit, down, place command, which is go to your bed, don't move.
Yeah.
All that's off leash degree in this kind of environment. Okay. Again, the variable is our behavior stuff. But as long as all that's going smoothly, we should be more than able to get all these things done within that time frame. Okay. 6 week is $825. We'll reiterate all this to you. $825, 9 week is $1175, and 12 week is $1550. You do get a credit from today towards the program. Okay. The collar, the 70 pound and under is about $275 with tax. The more higher powered one is $52 with tax. Okay, you get them online on Amazon.
Okay.
It comes with a warranty.
Will you send, or is there like a specific one?
Yeah, we'll send you everything,
Okay.
right? The exact model and stuff. Trust me, you want to get this particular model, okay? And then she'll send you the forms and everything, reiterate all the programs and stuff. You pick what you're wanting or what you need.
Do I need to pick the number of classes now, or do you like do the first couple and see how it goes?
So if let's say you do 6, right? What you're doing is you're getting my time for 6 weeks, plus 1 is a variable. So then, like, let's say you decide to extend, you may not keep your same time, or you may have to be put on a hold because we're back down.
Do I have to do the same time every week, or can I vary it?
Depends,
Okay.
right? So we do have clients that have a rotating schedule, so we have to kind of work with them a bit. Ideally, we want to work on the same time each week because it just makes it easier for us.
No.
If you're on a rotating schedule, they may not see you for a week or 2, okay? Because our schedule's not lining up. It's not a big deal. It just gives you more time to practice, okay?
Sit.
Well, especially when it comes to behavior, it's all about time. It's all about time and practice. If you make mistakes, you learn from them. You have questions, okay? If you decide to extend, we're doing it now. I'm correcting myself because of COVID. Okay. Before, like if you did 6, it's $825, and if the person wants to extend, it'd be another $825, right? If they did 12 off the bat, they got a discounted price because they're saying we already know we want full control, and we want you for 12 weeks. Okay. So
it's 6, 8, or 12.
6, 9, and 12.
6, 9, 12. Okay.
Correct.
I feel like I probably did 9.
And then Maria, we're going to reiterate all this stuff to you. Okay. So then, and then if you have a rotating schedule, just make sure she knows.
Yeah, it's just because I just went back to the bar right now, so it's like everything's all up in the air. But we're starting to get a rain on things, so I have a few times that I can think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, because like everybody, like we're only training Saturday and Sunday now. We're opening up to Fridays because Saturday and Sunday are getting full.
Okay.
Because Monday to Friday I'm manning the facility that I'm at. Because there's like daycare super slow and stuff, so now it's like cut back on stat, you know.
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
so yeah, we get it. We try to work with everybody as best we can. Okay. Other questions?
Is it always this part?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you usually bring a board and trained dog with you to lessons or just
If we have one, yeah, or if like you need one, and we have daycare and trains and stuff like that. You know, what you're scheduled for. I know for the reactivity stuff.
Relax.
Well, if we need to, we will. Okay, just put it simple.
Okay.
But if it's on a weekend and we have one like him, we most likely have them anyways. Okay. Other questions? Aside from that, it's pretty straightforward. It's really played by ear. I will send you some videos so that you learn what the e-collar is, so that when you come in, you already know how to use it. Then it's just, now we're going to teach it.
Channel videos, I don't know why, for whatever reason, I just don't understand.
Oh, really?
I don't know why. I don't know if I'm watching the rock videos or what it is. But
Sure.
I've watched a few, but I'll definitely watch yours and see if I can get it.
Yeah, so because I do them kind of like topic-based.
Yeah.
So I'm going to send you 3 in particular,
Okay.
which is explaining the model that you have, what the buttons do, right, just general stuff. I also recommend you read the book. Then it shows you when you put it on, how to fit it correctly. And then there's another one with like what we're looking for when we're using it.
Okay.
So that when you come in, you have a general idea. I'm going to coach you through everything else, okay? And we've had people show up that didn't want to do it, okay?
Yeah.
I always suggest do watch it so that we don't waste time on explaining something simple.
Sure.
We want to use that time for like big stuff, okay? Other than that, we'll see what we get. With the inside territorial stuff, like I said, you can always save a class or so. I can always forward the one that we have. That'll be towards the end of the program. Once you have a better understanding of dog behavior, dog psychology, e-collar and stuff, then it'll make a lot more sense and easier to explain in that front. Okay? But it's super common. I work with that stuff all the time.
Relax.
Anything else?
No.
So if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. We'll get in contact with you. So reiterate everything, and then take it from there. Okay? Awesome. Have a good week.
Thank you. Okay, thank you guys.
Yep, take care.